for game number 2 between Final Boss and Rebellion. Final Boss do have the current lead. I'm the caster for tonight's Juventus with my fellow co-caster Z. Say hi.
Hi, Quentin. How are you? And how is everyone doing? I hope you had a chance to actually watch that game 1 because that was an amazing game. Don't you think, Quentin?
That was beautiful execution coming in from the side of Final Boss. And I don't think that's removed from our memories. It was pretty fresh in our heads as that last engage coming in from the side of Final Boss, just wiping out the members of Rebellion. It was just absolutely sight.
Yep. And I think the thing that made the biggest impression to me was how equally matched these teams were. Despite how one-sided that game seemed, Rebellion did have an idea, and they were playing pretty well until that one moment decided the game. As we head into game 2 and see the Fanny being banned by Rebellion, they do not want to deal with that again.
Oh my goodness, the instant respect, especially after the changes in the current adjustments that came out in the last patch. Fanny's become much more smoother to play around, especially since she's got more easier energy game. Particularly, we do enter the draft phase, the second bans do come in, but again, a little bit of a short sorry for the intermission that happened in between. The stream did lag out due to some technical issues. It has been fixed, so we can provide you some quality streams. Again, guys, remember to like the stream and subscribe to it. At 450 subscribers, we will have a viewer giveaway. Now, Z.
Gaze upon the edge.
Yes, I'm excited. Can I participate in the viewer thing? I'm subscribed. Can I participate in the viewer giveaway as well?
We are casters. We are part of the management. We've got a job, so I don't think we can. But who knows? Who knows? You never know. I think so. We're going to get fired by our management if we talk like this.
As we see the Nolan ban, so a lot of respect towards the jungler, for a lot of respect towards Sebus from Rebellion side, as they actually even banned the Nolan this time.
That's a very interesting bet indeed. But Nolan has been changed up a lot. There is that potential of him being a very big threat. And the chip gets banned away. But one important thing that I need to ask, what do you think of the Hilda's presence in the map last game?
I think the Hilda did her job, right? She managed the EXP lane very well. And I think one of the reasons why the Final Boss were actually so dominant in these skirmishes and teamfights is because the Hilda, with her passive, every time she hit a skill, she lowers down the physical defense, right? And with the Fanny and the Brody actually following up on that, it's just going to absolutely destroy any hope of defense that the Rebellion was actually hoping to pile up against the composition brought by the Final Boss.
Now look at the side of Final Boss. They're just banning out the X-Morg as well this time around, which is going to be interesting. Now the first pick does go to the side of Rebellion. Let's see what they have to pick and choose through this ever-changing meta right now.
Only love at night.
Ooh, the Sicilian banned in the last game by Rebellion. This time they pick it up for the first pick. I don't know how good of an idea that is, though, because they did get punished early game by the Final Boss last game. So, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Rebellion reach that mid to late game position where Sicilian really shines out. But with the always getting immediately locked in with the Matilda, that's going to be a pretty risky game for the Sicilian in that mid lane.
Yep, and both of these heroes were actually banned by the Final Boss in the last game. The Phobius was their first ban, and the Matilda was their first ban in the second phase. So they know how much respect goes towards these heroes, and they have picked it up this time around. This is going to be interesting, as we do see Rebellion going back to the Alpha, but they also picked up that Brody. And interestingly, it looks like an Alpha in the EXP lane to actually match up with the Phobia.
That would be pretty interesting. I haven't seen many people actually put this matchup to mind, but the Alpha does pretty well against Orvius if he does know what he's doing. So that's going to be interesting in EXP, if he does go EXP, that is, as well, right?
Absolutely. I think I saw this first time when it was Kirk that picked the revitalized Alpha in MPLPH regular season against Orvius, and it worked very well. And I personally actually play the Alpha against Orvius because for some reason I have the collector skin of Alpha. So yeah, as we do see that Marsa being locked in by unit.
That's his way of calling us poor. But as we come back in, the second phase of the ban do begin up, and with the side of final boss really having that option to take down a lot more roamers, I believe, this time around, because they're not sure where this Alpha is going. In their heads, it might be thinking, all right, this Alpha, will they play it again in the jungle role as well? But that's a lot of mind games that Rebellion has put out, especially with that Alpha pick,
Yeah, absolutely. And I find, the Franco ban is very interesting, but I want to talk about the Farsa because she did get decent enough buff in this recent patch that I think will make her come back into the meta, similar to how Eve is coming back to the meta. So we might be seeing these high ground, long range, ballistic style mages with amazing zone control coming back into the meta with the recent patch.
That is true, and I'd love to see this Farsa in play. Her damage is pretty something that you cannot really scoff at, and also with the changes to her passive, her bird form, she is going to be moving around a lot more easier on the map right now and will be pretty difficult to catch out. So it's going to be interesting how heroes like the Farsa and the Eve play out in this current meta, especially since, as you were saying, they are coming back into pro play as well.
My mission.
Yep, and especially considering that Rebellion drafted the Brody, which is a very quick Brody at that. The Farsa will manage to actually damage this Brody a lot because Brody, remember, does not have a dash. He has that skill too. However, it's not necessarily a dash. It does require a target. So the Farsa will have a very easy hits onto this Brody, as well as just not having any competition because the Sicilian needs some time to scale. So the Sicilian is not going to be able to match the Farsa's rotation.
Yeah, it'll all come down to Unique's positioning, though, because the Sanguine Claws, as well as Brody's stun and the Spear of Alpha, can really just stop the airstrike that she's trying to put down. So positioning will be all. As we do see another Hayabusa, another jungler getting banned away, a lot of respect on Sivu's name.
Absolutely, and I think that is warranted considering how well he played the Fanny last game. He was an absolute menace, and he managed to just carry that game on his back. However, I think the unsung hero of last game was indeed Tunic as well as Darwin on that Carmilla. Both of them did not put wrong. As we see the Bane being picked. So the Bane, remember, was the hero that Rebellion banned in the last game.
And now something very interesting. Oh my goodness me. We see the Lolita, which is pretty alright, especially against the amount of ranged hits that are going to be coming down from the Bane and from the Matilda, and also a few shots from the Farsa. But we need to talk about this Esmeralda pick.
Yeah, especially if it's going into the jungle. I mean, the Esmeralda does very well against the Phobius, does very well against the Matilda, does decent against the Bane, does decent against the Farsa because she can be very tanky and she can just run at your face, right? So I do like where Zuzang is going with this Lilia in the gold lane. That would be interesting. No, they actually lock in the Moscow. But yeah, going back to this Esmeralda, I haven't seen her in the jungle that much. In fact, I haven't seen her anywhere recently because she has not been one of those heroes that are prioritized. But it will be very interesting to see how Rebellion play around this Esmeralda.
That is true, as both sides do lock in their drafts. This time around, I'm a little bit more heavily sided towards the draft from Final Boss because it looks a lot more familiar than what I am with the draft that Rebellion's putting out. But will Rebellion be able to actually rebel back and make a comeback, equalizing the score against Final Boss? Or will Final Boss end the journey of Rebellion in the Vortex of Legend Season 2? Well, we'll find that out pretty soon as we enter the Land of Dawn.
Yep, and I just want to point out that the Lolita is has just picked the Rising skin, which is not really available anywhere right now, I don't think. But it is a skin that I really like. I really like. It looks really nice, doesn't it?
Look at that. Me being a huge no, I should not be saying that. But me being a rumor, Lolita was one of my favorites, especially when she was pretty good in the meta. And yeah, that is the potential of having the tournament lobby, just being able to play around with almost any skin that you have fun in the game,
Yeah, that's true. And we see a normal gold lane rotation, I guess. Looks like the Esmeralda managed to... Oh, no. The Bane actually went for that green camp over next to the red buff as well before moving over to the blue buff. So the Bane does have that edge in the clear speed. I mean, it is a Bane, so I guess that is expected.
And yeah, we might have a few skirmishes around the map. The Sicilian already chunked pretty low, but the Lolita has been spotted by Darwin. And now the Moskov getting jumped upon. That was a risky position, but he was able to just step out of that.
Yeah, as well as that shield coming in from Darwin. It's going to be massive when going against that Brody. Ooh, there's a skirmish going on. Yeah, nothing going.
Yeah, I know. Indeed, it seems like we are having...
It's very interesting. Over at the top lane, the Phoveus actually managed to proxy the wave, so the Alpha did not really do anything at all. He just let the Phoveus just skirt around him, take that wave, and then just walk to mid lane.
That was pretty good coming in from the side of the Phoveus, but we have to see as the first turtle of the game does spawn in. It seems like both teams are rotating towards it, but Final Boss, they're already on it. Will Rebellion be able to actually push back? The Phoveus is starting to get chunked down pretty low, but now the Lolita is low herself, has to flicker out away from the damage coming in from the Phoveus. Now we already have the Falling Star Moon getting used up, so is the Deadly Catch, but that's a lot more damage onto the side of Rebellion than it is the Final Boss. And now with a lot of members healthy, the Esmeralda was able to steal away the turtle, but at the cost of her own life. Sicilian not being able to run away, Bane is able to pick that up, and now eyes turn to the Lolita, but it seems that purple buff looks much more juicier.
Absolutely, and I think all of that disaster came about because, unfortunately, Cherry missed his steer of Alpha. He missed Savuz on this Bane, did not manage to get any skills landed onto Savuz, and then Savuz just kind of turned that fight around with the Deadly Catch. That is not something that Rebellion would have wanted, especially for the first turtle, especially against the composition that the Final Boss have actually drafted for them, which is very good even in the late game.
Yeah, now we have to see what happens around the map. There are a few skirmishes getting ready. Top lane EXP is full of action between the two EXP laners. We have Jam and Cherry going at it, but in the mid side we already see the Feathered Airstrike getting used up, as well as the Deadly Catch to keep Unique alive. But with the Brody back into this fight, Zeus is the first to fall. He has been sort of shut down from this rampage that he was starting to build up.
Yeah, and that is really the strength of the Brody, right? If you fight towards the Brody's lane, and the Brody actually manages to join the fight, especially in the early game, you will win. You will win in the early to mid game because the Brody is, as compared to other monsters, a relatively early game hero.
Yeah, with so much damage output, we have to see what happens over here. The second turtle is spawning in 15, but there is two members onto the top side. Will Phoveus, with the Demonic Force, be able to get a few kills over here? No, he does go down, but the Abyssal Markers come in. This gives the potential of the Moskov to go back in, but I do not see... Oh, here he does go. The Numenon Blast already getting used up. Here's that big strike, but the Sanguine Claws is enough to take down Zhu Zhang. And it seems like a little bit of a clapback by Rebellion. But the turtle does get stolen away now. Esmeralda in a tight spot is able to escape, but the Brody wants a little bit more. Turnabout Memory onto the Matilda, but the Matilda survives as Bane reverses that kill.
Yeah, Zavuz with the revenge of the game managed to get that turtle under the nose of messing around of this Esmeralda, managed to get a kill back onto Praz, and yeah, I think Rebellion are actually sitting very, very, very on the ropes as the final boss are just rampaging through this game, even with a comparatively late game draft.
They are pretty predominant right now, but we have to see how things might change as we enter that mid-game power spike, where we'll see heroes like the Esmeralda, the Brody, and the Sicilian start to actually spurt. So we have to really it just comes down to that timers that these players have set up right now.
Absolutely, and Cherry goes in with the vengeance and does get taken down. Does not manage to clear the wave. Yep, and that is the turret fallen. There is a trade down at the bottom lane, however they don't manage to get any kills onto Zam, who was actually playing very safe, realizing that most likely the rest of the Rebellion team was down for them.
Yeah, the Turnabout Memory as well as the that's from the Sicilian used up, so that's a few resources just used blindly in their team fight. It seems like final boss they were able to save up their resources to defend against Rebellions coming on siege.
Yeah, I think Rebellion really do want that. Oh, that was an amazing agreed.
Look at that, we have the Deadly Catch as a reversal Numenon Blast is not enough to stop the rampage coming in from the Phobius. That is already 2 members down. Maybe a third, the Turnabout Memory not doing enough damage to take down the side of Final Boss, but the Phobius is back on tail with the Brody, gets traded out by the Sicilian, but overall, Final Boss with another turtle under their bag. They are pretty happy with this circumstance.
Yeah, and I have to question Cherry's move there, because while that whole skirmish was going on, he was split pushing on an alpha. I mean, I don't know how... And yeah, he does not manage to get that kill onto Zhu Zhang either. He does get kited away. And yeah, I don't know how much I like the decision to actually split push on the alpha, because you don't really have a late game on the alpha, right? You're very strong in the early game, and in the late game, it's like you're not really doing much other than being a meat shield. So pushing instead of skirmishing on an alpha, especially with the Brody in the team, is
interesting indeed, as we can already see Cherry chunked down pretty low by the Farsa Matilda combo, which was known to be a classic back in the day. Good grief, I sound old. But as we're coming back to the topic you were talking about earlier, Cherry, especially with that vengeance, should be playing a little bit more aggressive into these team fights. As we speak of a team fight, we might see a full-blown one here as the Numenon Blast gets cancelled out, but the Deadly Catch catches out the brain instead. Here comes the Feathered Airstrike coming in from the far side to cover his team as the Moskov tries to take down the Brody. A Turnabout Memory reverses that fight as Zhu Zhang is also taken out. In that process, we have Cherry and Messing Around still alive, but against the onslaught that is the side of Final Boss, we have to see whether or not they last long enough.
Yeah, and very interestingly there, Praz actually managed to get a shutdown on Zhu Zhang. So even though Zhu Zhang is on a 3-2-2, he was on a killing spree. So he did get shut down, which is a little bit more going towards the Brody than it would have been otherwise. So let's see if the Brody can actually do something with it. Let's see if Praz can actually do something with it as we head towards the first major team fight around the major objective, that is the Lord.
Yeah, and with Zhu Zhang having the Spear of Destruction, can just clear out lanes. As I say that, we might have an engage on the top side. The Fovi is already going in on top of this Alpha. The Cherry getting pretty low. We have the Lord getting focused down, but it seems like the Bane has other options, other problems he needs to deal with first. The Deadly Catch is not able to get out, as we do see the Sicilian in the back lane getting taken out by the Zhu Shang. We have the rest of the members of Final Boss coming in, but the Lord is now focused as the Bane is down for the count. The falling Star Moon already used up by the Esmeralda, but the Feathered Airstrike, perfect bait into the Moskov's Abyssal Spear, takes down the remaining members as Brody is forced to hide away from the onslaught that is the Final Boss.
And that whole fight clearly shows the strength that the Moskov has as compared to the Brody, right? Because the Moskov managed to push the bot lane, managed to push the minions, forcing the Brody to actually respond to the minion wave on the bot lane. Then he managed to hit the Spear of Destruction onto Sicilian, killed the backline, and was instrumental in that fight. The whole time, the Brody was down in the bot lane, clearing the way. So, as we see another fight brewing.
Yeah, we're having skirmishes again here and there. Already 2 members down for the side of Rebellion. They're losing their cool, they're losing their touch. They are starting to panic under the pressure right now, it seems.
Yep. This is a fight that they should not have taken under any circumstances. I do not understand why Blanks actually went in there. So, yeah, as we see the final boss actually looking like the final boss right now.
Indeed, look at this perfect siege that they've brought out. That Lord has spawned the second wave. We have to see whether or not the side of Final Boss they do put out a more precise siege. Will Rebellion be able to defend this? The Lord is already almost half HP. The Spear of Alpha does not connect onto anyone, but the Luminon Blast connects onto 3. Now Fast trying to get into a good position, but the Deadly Catch gets baited away. And that is already 1 member down for the side of the Final Boss. That is 2 as a shutdown comes in, taken down by Messing Around. Catches out the Melissa as well, but one more spin might just take her down. The Matilda is able to survive this, as Esmeralda walks away happy with a good defense, if I must say so myself.
Absolutely, and I think the MVP of that defense would have to be Blanks as well as Overrated. Both of them managed to actually get their stuns, so the Luminum Blast as well as the Sanguine Claws on very priority targets, and just managed to take them down, right?
Yeah, we did see a very good combination coming in from both teams' mids. And now it seems like there might be another collapse onto this mid lane fight. I'm not sure if both teams are aware of the positioning. It seems like Rebellion, they're more aware of where the Phobius and the Farstar are. Yeah. Will they push their luck over here now?
I would actually prefer the Alpha to actually mirror the rotation of the Moskov rather than going opposite. So if he was actually the one defending against the Moskov, it would probably make sense because he does have the Vengeance. He's not going to be killed 1v1 by the Moskov, not unless there's a massive outplay, and he does have the Spear of Alpha to actually escape, if need be. So I would actually prefer the Alpha to be the one defending as opposed to the Brody. But let's see how they actually...
Speaking of that Moskov, look at the Zhu Shang's positioning, so beautifully placed. Nobody knows where he is. He has the spear ready to join in on any team fights. And now the Alpha versus the Moskov competition that you were talking about does occur. The Vengeance is popped, but now the Moskov is pretty free as the rest of his team try to start this Lord up.
Oh, there's a Spear of Destruction onto the Alpha. So he doesn't have the Spear of Destruction to actually go into the team fight. And yeah, this time Cherry actually did mirror the Moskov. He did defend against the Moskov, and he looks like he wants to join the team fight, but he is gonna get... Oh, and that's insane! Oh, but there is... Okay, there was the Rebellion to actually respond to that amazing rotation and amazing play from the final boss.
Indeed, a good turnaround from the side of Rebellion. They were able to actually take down Moskov, and with Zhu Shang down, it gives them more of an opportunity to start bursting this Lord up, as the rest of final boss, they can't really walk up against this powerhouse. We already see that the falling star does come up. Ooh! Immediately, Esmeralda getting popped away. But now coming in with the Tangled Claws, the Sicilian doing quite a bit of damage. The Brody with the torn apart memory does not get any more kills over here, but the Matilda going in pretty deep as the Bane tries to clear up and finish this Lord. Seems like pretty well for the side of the final boss as they secure this second Lord pretty comfortably.
Yeah, and the Rebellion were actually shaken. I mean, I thought they had the advantage. Maybe they were afraid of the Spear of Destruction coming in and it being turned around with a 5v4 immediately, because remember, the Moskov and the Alpha died around the same time. However, the Moskov has the Spear of Destruction to enter the team fight very easily. On the other hand, we see a skirmish actually going on.
This would not be a good idea for the side of Rebellion, especially with this 14-minute Lord coming in. So it's going to be very risky.
Absolutely. I think they should actually just prioritize defending, give up the first inhibitor, because it is going to be jumped. However, beyond that...
Oh, an aggressive early Numenon blast. That was not good, as now the Farsa are able to pick up a few kills. Spear of Alpha does land on 2, but it's not enough. The Moskov is preheating as well. The Sicilian not getting into a better position. The Spear of Abyss connects onto the Brody, coming in with the torn apart memory. He's not able to dish out enough damage as final boss shot down the reign of Rebellion from the round of 16 as they move on to the semifinals in the Vortex of Legend.
Absolutely, and that was a great showing by both teams. And I was especially impressed by Rebellion because they did have some very interesting ideas and they did show what they were capable of, especially in this game too. But the final boss showing who is the final boss and showing that they are the better team today as they head on to the round of 8, just triumphing over Rebellion.
Yup, and with that, I believe there will be a short intermission. We will be back with the final match a little later tonight, as the two teams have been rescheduled to a later time. We will inform you, and we will be live tonight. I guess we have the final words from who as we close up the stream for now. Who, are you there?
Yes, Quentin, I'm here. So, guys, since Meow Meow Gang is having a final in a tournament, so we have rescheduled the match later tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed the match. Final boss showing why they are named the final boss, isn't it, Quentin?
Indeed, and Z, any last remarks that you have?
Not at this point. I think the final boss definitely showed bloodline rules and that they can actually quell down any rebellion coming out in their bloodline, right? So yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining, guys. This is it for today, and we will meet you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and do follow our Instagram page for more updates about the tournaments, the giveaways, and everything. So thank you so much, guys. Good night. Have a great night.
Good night, guys.
Okay, so